I have to say, this video has been a really long time coming. So the phone I've got here is the Note 8 Deep Sea Blue, and I've filled it to the brim with apps, widgets, and really cool wallpapers. Let's get right into it. So as I said, the phone here is the Galaxy Note 8, and 3 weeks after owning it, the phone has about 140 applications on it. And obviously we're not going to go through all of them, just a few of the main ones that I'm using right now. In terms of the phone itself, as you can see, there's no case on it right now, but there is a very special custom one on the way, and I can't wait to show it to you. As it stands, to be honest, the phone is actually really comfortable to hold just on its own, even if it is a tad on the heavy side. Also, as a bit of a side note in case you're interested, I normally use the Note 8's Fingerprint Scanner to get into the phone. As you might know, it also has a face scanner and an iris scanner, but even though the Fingerprint Scanner is a little bit annoying to reach, it's still better than those two. Right, so unlocking the phone, the first thing you're going to be greeted with is pretty much nothing on the home screen except this gorgeous wallpaper, which I'll get onto a little bit later. So as you can probably tell, the colour scheme I've gone for here is one of very few colours, and I find that actually if you do that, if you tend to keep things very grayscale and then have spots of colour, they really stand out. So right at the top we have a Huck Zupa, which has been customised a little bit. I sort of went into the settings, changed a few of the colours just to make it pop a little bit more. And what's pretty cool is if you tap those three dots, they've been coded to automatically open your Google Assistant. But aside from that, and just generally looking quite nice, the widget doesn't do much else. It's got the day, the date, and the time. And just below that, we've got a second Huck Zupa. And I think this works really well because essentially it draws a line between where the icons are in the page and where the widgets are on top. I've adjusted the colours so they match the three dots on top, and I think the whole way it looks ties in really nicely with the theme. It's got soft, yet at the same time quite crisp lines, and it's all completely white with some light shadows. Now in order to create this primarily black and white colour scheme, I've gone for the grayscale icons. Now these are probably one of the most consistent icons you can find of this type because they turn every single one into a circle, whether they've been coded for or even if they haven't. Now you also might notice I've done a couple of other subtle things to make the icons look a little bit more minimalist. I've changed the app folders from a grid style where you can see 4 icons side by side to the fan style, and there's a little bit less going on now. It's less cluttered, and if you are trying to create a minimalistic look, then space is what you need. And talking about space, I've freed up a little bit more by shrinking the icons. The standard icons as well as the ones on the dock are now 90% of their original size. Now the wallpaper I've got going on here is something I found pretty recently and completely fell in love with. It's the Hex shader. It not only looks crazy eye-catching, but at the same time it's got some neat tricks to save some battery. Now I am planning to cover it properly in a best apps video, so stay tuned for that and we'll move straight on. So another thing you might have noticed is that logo. So my app draw icon is actually the Mr. Who's the Boss channel logo, so if you want that you can go into the DrawCon application and it's in there as one of the options. That was pretty cool and a complete surprise to me. Also, when I open my app drawer, you'll notice I've gone for the dark background as opposed to the card background that's set as default in most launchers. The reason for that is it just makes the icons with their black and white theme stand out a little more, and also you can still see that nice moving background behind the icons, which looks really good. Now taking a look at some of my apps, we'll start with music, and in this folder I've got Spotify because that's pretty much my #1 go-to music app. To be honest, even though I graduated 2 months ago, I've still managed to keep the student subscription, so I'm paying like half the price of the premium membership. Also Shazam, I use this loads anytime you're in the gym, the car, or a restaurant and you hear songs you like, you simply tap that button and you can save them and add them to your Spotify playlist. We've then got a folder for photos, and I have to say since getting the Note 8 and that beautiful dual camera, my photo frequency has definitely gone up. Having that dual camera gives you another few tools to play around with compared to a single camera, so it's just a lot more fun to use. We've then got the Social Blade and Creator Studio apps, which to be honest I spend way too much time on and I should probably turn that down. We've then got Social for all the social media that isn't YouTube, because YouTube deserves an entire folder for itself. And in this we've got Twitter, which I'm spending a growing amount of time on, Instagram, which is becoming my #1 favourite. I really just like playing around with the whole filters and all the different settings they've got built into there. We've also got the Facebook Pages Manager, and Facebook is the real one where I'm trying to start posting more regularly, kind of lots of news when new announcements happen, just like brief summaries of all the details. So just quickly flicking over to the right, I've got another page which is a little bit of a mess, but essentially this is for testing. So oftentimes I'm downloading lots of different applications from lots of different genres for lots of different potential videos, so I need to try and keep those somewhat organised. Anyway guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I've got tons more like this on the channel, so be sure to stick around. And I'm Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'm signing out.